Get this party started.
The webinar has started. We are
Hey,
live.
we
Welcome,
didn't coordinate
everybody.
this black and white thing, bro.
I know, black and white.
I don't
That's
know, man. It's like the yin yang kind of.
mirror image.
Yeah.
Mirror image. I'm glad you got the memo.
How you doing, brother?
Good, good, good. Let's welcome everybody in. People coming in to another exciting Mind Types AI Mastermind.
Dude,
And we
things are
have
crazy out there, man.
things
It is.
are crazy. I know, boy. And I was gonna say, before we start bursting out with the stuff that's top of our mind, I want to go back to basics on something. I'm kind of a big architecture kind of guy in that I think there's benefit for everybody to think in terms of frameworks. Okay. So I know what you and I are going to jump into passionately, but I'd like to kind of like remind everybody of a foundational framework to keep in mind and kind of place the excitement that Ridgely and I are going to share with you at the various aspects of your own marketing. Okay. And so with that kind of like, you know, weird kind of a setup, Ridgely, let me introduce everybody to a certain concept that you and I think of all the time natively, but that many people may not have. Okay. So if I may, I'm going to share my screen and we're just going to jump into this concept here. So excuse my messy desktop. I'm going to
And
go to
Jimmy,
chat.
just to let you know, we are in a monster storm here. Power's
Okay,
going up and down. So if I cut out, you got this.
exactly. All right, cool. Okay, so look, act as a marketing uh, expert and teach me about, okay, tofu, 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 tofu. Wait. Top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel activities. And it's going to use the acronyms that I always stumble on, activities. Okay. Now look. So tofu, mofu, and bofu. Okay. So if you hear marketers talk and they throw these slang terms out, it's stuff you already know. Of course, we all know the inverted funnel. I mean, the funnel, it's an inverted pyramid. And at the top, you catch everybody through awareness. In the middle, you kind of like agitate them and have them become, consideration of you as a choice. And then at the bottom of the funnel is when you close them. Okay, so let's just review this originally before we talk about the various things that we're doing. And let me just cut to the chase. Ridgely and I are always thinking of activities at the top of the funnel, the middle of the funnel, and the bottom of the funnel. And I have Ridgely explain how you can keep doing that with the audience that you get. And originally, I'm specifically talking about that very cool video that we did with the, that's kind of a moving people from the middle of the funnel to the bottom of the funnel kind of a thing. Like, and folks, Ridgely does this in lightning speed. And I'm gonna have Ridgely brag on like how long it took him to go from concept to execution and all of that. But again, I wanted everybody to kind of be aware of the framework and the architecture. So let's start off with the top of the funnel and Ridgely jump in with anything you want to share. Okay. So this
Okay.
is where you make people aware of their problem or their brand. Okay. And sometimes in a marketing cycle, like Ridgely's going to explain, you take them through top, middle, and bottom like lightning fast. Ridgely's going to show you how we educated people on an issue that they didn't even know they had. Right. So we instantly took them from the top of the funnel. And so look, what causes tooth pain or how to improve workplace culture? These kinds of things are the social media type things, infographic type things, lead magnet type things that everybody thinks, okay, let's start there and start building our prospects. And then they get so caught up, Ridgely, sometimes on top of the funnel that they neglect to also be doing middle of the funnel and bottom of the funnel activities. Okay. So the middle of the funnel is where you nurture relationships and you keep educating them, but then you position yourself as a solution. This might be email sequences, ongoing webinars. It might even be a mastermind like us. We're constantly inviting people to audit the mastermind and we're proving out, that we're the choice. Then you get to the bottom of the funnel, the decision stage. This is where you actually like convert them. Okay, you do the one-on-one calls, you show them the ROI, all of that, and then you do testimonial videos and so forth. Okay, so I just wanted visually for everybody to understand that there are funnel stages, and the key is to always be doing something in every single phase of the funnel. Okay, because otherwise you have, you have this when it rains it pours type of thing, and then of course something that Ridgely and I have now spent years dialing in is how to balance between feeding the funnel, getting the clients, and then delivering the product and having that right balance so that it's not feast or famine. So originally, any thoughts about the various funnel activities for all folks? Top, middle, and bottom?
Well, I think that the biggest thing is to just remember that all of us are always in marketing. Always. It just never stops. A lot of people say we're always in sales. I just like marketing better. But you're waking up in the morning next to your partner, if you have a partner, and you're marketing yourself so that she still or he still likes you that day, right? When you get on the phone with one of your kids or you text them because they don't answer your damn phone, right? Because they're texters. What are you doing? You're selling yourself on still being a cool parent and so on. And of course, it applies to all of our contacts in our list, the cold market that is out there, the marketplace in general, etc. ABC is the one we used to hear all the time. Always be closing. The
Right.
problem is that doesn't work. Always closing doesn't work unless you build rapport and you give value first. So I say always be marketing, but marketing includes lots of value to people so that you give them something that can really help them out. And so, am I going to walk everybody through this, Hubert?
Yes, I believe so. And then also we're going to do this in two aspects. One is to demonstrate the marketing cycle and how you think it through, came up with the idea, got it executed, and got it out there and then the results. But the second thing also, though, is that many of the folks here are super interested in exactly what's been going on. And as a matter of fact, I see a couple of new names that really haven't heard what we've been so excited about in the last few masterminds. And it's well worth actually diving into it as well. So, whether or not you want to actually show do a little
I think so.
walkthrough of
I
the
think it
slide,
makes
I
sense.
think that would be so awesome.
Okay. So, by way of background, we noticed, and I'm going to get, while I do the presentation, I pretty much don't have to, I could do the presentation for everybody, but let me give the background of how we came to this. Then I'll do the presentation, which will communicate the information. And then I'll share with you what we did with the presentation, what is the aftermath from the presentation, and what we did even today. So everything that we're talking about happened in a 7-day window. That's it. So there was a massive change. We all heard about, or you may not have heard about, but many of us heard about the de-indexing problem or issue, not even problem. The thing that happened with Google, which is on May 26th, they began a process of de-indexing many, many website pages across the World Wide Web in every country globally. 30 to 40% of web pages were de-indexed. They're just gone off the map. And we'll talk about why in just a second. I'll go a little slower in the presentation to explain things as I go along, Hubert, because I think people could really benefit from that. Well, the way we discovered this is that we're doing our weekly call. We're relentless about getting results for our clients, which is why we've been as successful as we are. And we, every single Monday afternoon, are reviewing how are they doing? What else can we do? What are the results, etc. And so we noticed early June, like, man, something is wrong. And when something is wrong, and I see our clients going in the wrong direction, their rankings are dropping, their new patient volume is dropping, whatever, I'm pretty aggressive about what the hell's happening, people. We got to figure this out. Now, fortunately for me, I'm also surrounded by some very, very smart people. Top of that list would be Hubert Lee, my partner, and he was able to quickly figure out way before anybody else knew, right at the beginning of June, before any announcement had been made, that Google had done a massive, massive algorithm change, perhaps one of the biggest, if not the biggest, um, in the history of the internet. And so when Google finally came out with the official, yes, we've done this, which would have been June 30th, they also began to express what it meant in terms of search engines, in terms of where people are going to get new business. And this was a big deal. So, on the one hand, people are taking a hit. On the other hand, there's a new opportunity. So, remember that the Chinese character for crisis and opportunity is the same. It's two sides of the coin, right? So, when I saw all that last week, I thought to myself, man, there's an opportunity here to make people aware that they have a crisis that they may not even know about, and then to do what Hubert was just talking about in the funnel, which is to position ourselves as the solution to their issue. So literally, I pinged amazing Bridget Callahan, who is one of our mastermind members, often on with us. I know she's probably I think she's on with us today. And I said to Bridget, I got an emergency here. If I throw some slides together, if I throw some stuff together, can you take the mess that I create and make it into something like the Bridget magic kind of deal, right? And of course, Bridget being Bridget said, yes, I can do that. When do you need it by? Next question, right? Because by the way, I've learned for those who might want to think like this, um, I, I don't actually say, hey, Bridget, I got a new presentation for you. I go, Bridget, you got a minute? Can we talk for a second? So I can gauge the pulse of, can Bridget pull off what I need? Which of course she did, right? Which is amazing. And so literally what I did was on Friday of last week, so less than 7 days ago, I sent a mess. Here it is, over to Bridget. And I'll show you the mess that I sent to Bridget. This was the mess that I sent to Bridget. This is what all it is. Bunch of junk, right? A bunch of stuff. In other words, it was well crafted, but this is nothing that could be shown to anybody other than Bridget, right? And I said, can you take this and convert this into a Bridget Magic presentation, right? That I need to present on Tuesday morning. That's Tuesday as in the day before yesterday, okay? So she says, yeah, I can do that. So on Monday afternoon, I of course forget that Bridget doesn't check her email all that often, and she sends me the presentation on a Sunday night. I'm like, great, it's awesome. I need these 3 changes over here, right? And I'm seeing nothing coming back to me all day Monday. I'm like, oh, that's right, Bridget doesn't check email. Text message, shoot. Okay, oh yeah, I got you. All right, I got you. Whatever. Gets me the stuff by Monday night. It's all good to go. Tuesday morning, I make the presentation. Let me show you the presentation. We're going to walk through it. I'm going to give you the logic. As Hubert suggested, this is really, really important stuff. Even if you've seen part of this, you really want to get the full scope of it because it is going to change the way that people get new business in the service industries, which most of us are in. So I'm going to start out. I'm going to give you a series of assumptions. I'm then going to talk about the problem. We're going to talk about the solution, and we're also going to talk about the future. By the way, Bridget, I need a critique from you on this presentation. Okay, how am I doing? You just let me know later how I did on the presentation. Okay, so first of all, let's make a few assumptions. Number one, Google still equals new patients or new clients, either way, in the digital space. This was designed for dentists, but you could apply it to any service business. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is Google brings you new clients from paid traffic, from Google Ads. They come from organic traffic through search engines. They come from map traffic through Google Maps. They come from business listings in the Google Business Profile. And now the new place is AI traffic, AI overviews, and AI engines, which includes Gemini, and there are some others which we'll talk about as well. This is assumption number one. All right. Assumption number two, Google needs compute power from its data centers to do what? to A, crawl and index the World Wide Web. We're talking billions of pages globally on a daily basis, every day. And B, to manage and develop AI applications and remain competitive with Grok, Elon Musk's company, OpenAI with Sam Altman, DeepSeek from China, etc. Okay, so those are the two things that Google needs compute power for. What do we do to help Google find us? We give instructions to Google on our website, on our pages, using on-page search engine optimization, robots.txt, which is a way in which we invite bots to crawl your site, schema code, and a bunch of other stuff. Here's the problem, and it's a big one. The problem for Google is it doesn't have enough compute power to do both, crawl those billions of pages, and all the power it needs to continue developing AI at the speed of ChatGPT and Elon Musk Grok, right? So what happened? May 26th to June 1st, Google began de-indexing pages. Now, de-indexing means that they're basically saying this page, we are no longer going to crawl this page. As far as Google is concerned, Google being the 800-pound gorilla that governs search online at the moment to a huge degree, this page no longer exists. It's invisible. And they made it official on June 30th. In other words, of course, they're going to do it 5 weeks before they tell anybody. They're going to just do it because they don't want anybody gaming the system. But they confirmed this officially on June 30th. And in that period of time, guess what? 30 to 40% of any service industry website pages were de-indexed, resulting in massive decreases in visibility. People's rankings went way down. Suddenly they're wondering what the heck is going on? What were the criteria that they used to apply that? If a page had thin content, if it was duplicate or paraphrasing content, if it was generated only by AI or auto-spun, if it had low engagements or no clicks, if it had a lack of relevance, we're going to de-index all that. In other words, pages that provided no value or low value were de-indexed across the World Wide Web on a global basis. What's the bigger problem? The bigger problem for those who are unaware and don't know is that this new emphasis, with the new emphasis, new business, new clients, new patients are going to come from AI recommendations through tools like Google's AI Overview, Perplexity, ChatGPT, Grok, etc. And that means, and the speed at which this is happening is absolutely mind-boggling. I've never seen anything like this. AI overviews that went for queries online of people searching for things in January was only 6.5%. By February, it was 7.5%. By March, it was 13. By May, it was about 47. And by the month of June, over 50%, estimated at 57%, were getting an AI overview for a query online for somebody searching for something, including your business, whatever it was. So let me remind everybody about the old way. The old way was you wanted to be in the top 10 blue links, right? You wanted to show up early in the game. When somebody searched for something, you wanted to be in the maps, or you wanted to be an organic. You wanted to show up in these top 10 links. This is dentists in Pensacola, for example, right? You wanted to be there so people could find you. Well, guess what? There's a new way, and let me state this very firmly. We're never going back to the old way. The new way is that AI overviews show up first, above everything else, which means the number one thing that is going to show up is the AI overview. So if you're not part of this AI overview, you are by definition way behind. And look how big this AI overview is. It's a lot. So obviously, Best Sedation Dentist in Sylacauga here, Southern Smiles of Sylacauga shows up first. They're our client, of course, and they show up first everywhere, right? But all these links that used to be what you wanted, they're history. They're toast. They're not even visible anymore because the AI overview, see right up there at the top of the page, is the AI overview above everything else. This is a huge deal. It basically means that people who don't understand this and who don't optimize for AI are going to suffer death by 1,000 cuts. What do I mean? Hey, they're going to go like this. Traffic's down 5% this month. I wonder why my ads aren't working. I wonder why my search engine ranking's not the same. And the next month, another 5%. Hey, we're down another 5%. Team, what's going on here? And they're going to wake up 6 months from now and they're going to be invisible, wondering what the hell happened to me and my online visibility. What's the solution? AI first search engine optimization, or SEO. This is what we have to create. Remember, some of us who are old enough might remember Ask Jeeves. It came out in 1996. This was an ask engine, the first one. And you had to type in your question, and then Ask Jeeves, that turned into ask.com, became the answerer of that question. November 2022, what came on board big time for everybody to use? Little deal called Chat. That's Ask, same thing, Chat GPT. And that has evolved ever since then, right? Into all of these engines. Now, guess what? There's a new language or a new way of inviting AI onto your site called LLMS.txt. That's large language models. That's AI.txt. This is what we're now doing to bring people onto our sites and let them know about AI. And folks, this is a gold rush. The people who take action are going to obliterate the competition, and those that don't are going to suffer. Are there other factors? Sure. There's schema code, there are FAQ sections that help AI engines understand who you are, what you represent, what you do. There's phrasing content like humans. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. And then there's making sure that your copy is AI friendly so that you show up in the AI engines. Here's what it looks like. Human behavior plus AI is going to get you new business, right? And what do I mean by that? This is really, really critical for everybody to understand. Ask Jeeves, you had to type in an answer. ChatGPT comes along, most people are typing in. A lot of people now are just using their phone. I don't know if you guys have this or not, but I, for example, have ChatGPT right there on my phone, right there. I can click that. Now, when I click that, do you think I type in anymore? No, I don't type. I go there, and then there's a little microphone right there. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I hit the microphone and I talk. I'm not typing squat. As we move forward, what do you think people are going to do? Easy way, I talk into the phone. Really difficult. My fingers type, 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 type. No, they're going to talk into the phone. So somebody searching for new business is going to do it something along the lines of this. Let's suppose, again, we'll use the example of dentist, but insert your industry, insert your business, whatever it be. It's going to happen like this. Hi, I'm having some tooth pain and I've been meaning to get to the dentist. I haven't been in a while. I'm missing a couple of teeth. I don't know if I need an implant or a denture. And to tell you the truth, I'm kind of scared of the dentist, but I do live outside of Pensacola, Florida, a little bit north, and I'm wondering if you have a recommendation. That's what's going to happen. And that means that for you to show up, your online presence must be educated to interpret all of that. Fear of the dentist, maybe it's an implant, maybe it's a denture, maybe they haven't been in a long time, they live outside Pensacola. Who do we recommend for that? And if you have not optimized your online presence for all that, you're not going to get any new business. It's going to go to somebody who has done that. You have to adjust everything to optimize for AI, right? What's the future look like? The future looks like this. Those who get it, the rich, are going to get richer because they're going to dominate the top of the search engines, the AI overviews, and everybody else is toast. They're just going to get burned. There's just no way around it. They're just going to get burned. And without taking action now, you're going to play catch up forever, and you never will, right? Okay. So Bridget helps me create this fabulous presentation. I give the presentation to a big dental influencer on Tuesday morning, at 10 o'clock. By 10:30, this influencer says, "Can you make a video about that presentation? I want to send it to every one of my 77 dental practice clients as soon as possible." I'm like, I most certainly can do that. So I literally at 11 o'clock, so 1 hour when we finished my call with him, filmed the presentation that you just saw. Basically the same thing. I didn't change my shirt. I didn't do nothing. In fact, the one you just saw right now was more polished because now I've done it once or twice, right? Than the one that I filmed. Now, we got to think, all right, how are we getting this out there? We know it's going to go to 77 practices. Some of them are already our clients, a few of them, right? So I ping Hubert, dude, you got to create a landing page. We're going to put this video on a landing page, whatever. Hubert says, no, man, let's create a blog post and let's put it on the website of the client. And that way we'll drive the traffic, we'll get the SEO bump, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So at that point, Hubert says to me, okay, you need to go and get me the content, right? You got to build the content. I need the content for the blog post. I'm like, all right. So what do you think I'm going to do at that point? I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go right here to AI and I'm going to get them AI to help me create the content, right? Here's the content. There it is, all this content, etc. Okay, cool. How does this work, etc. Blah, blah, blah. I got all this detail, all this information. And then I said, okay, now that I've got all this information, now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to create a landing page, which I did in AI, using AI, is Google quietly, blah, 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 etc. And I did all of that. And I got all of that to Hubert, who in turn said, well, I'll just create a blog post on the site. This is happening by the way, Tuesday afternoon, right? A mere hours after we got the go ahead. And here's Hubert's work. And there's the video that you just saw the presentation of, etc. And there is, so notice in terms of funnel, how much value we're giving to everyone. And at the end of the video, of this video, I want to show you this for a second, what I said. Hey there, Sunrise family, got going on. What you can't do is nothing. You will take a massive hit. This is so important. I literally got off the phone with Tony Feck about a half an hour ago. He said, can you make that video? Can you get that out to our members right now so that they know and they can take action? We can take that dominant position, whether you're working with me or some other agency, doesn't matter. Just take the dominant position so we can make sure that our Sunrise family does really, really well as we move forward. Please take action. Do something. And obviously, if you just want to talk about it, have a conversation with me to really understand this, more than delighted to do that as well. All right. Be well. You are ahead of the curve. Now you know. Take the knowledge and take action. Notice that I didn't say just, hey, call me. I said, do something, right? Take action. In other words, lots of value. I offered to talk to those folks that want to talk to us. And of course, we included a link to book time on my calendar right there. So they could take the action to get on the calendar as fast as possible. What happened after that? Okay, now the page is built. Okay, well, now I need an email to promote this. So what am I going to do? I mean, you guys get the picture, right? I hope everybody's getting the picture. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my trusted source and I'm going to use AI to help me write the email that turned into this email right here. Immediate action needed. Google AI's erasing website is yours next. Blah, blah, blah. Link over to the page where people can then book an appointment. And of course, I'm pretty sure everybody knows what happened next, which is, of course, appointments started coming in. And now I have multiple dentists waiting to speak to me about this issue that we've educated them on. By the way, we put that out to the clients that we already have yesterday, right? So that was Wednesday. By Wednesday afternoon and this morning, I had a number of bookings. And today, we're about to blast the 4,000 dentists that we have, sending them there as well to get a series of more bookings. Guys, this started last Thursday, right? It's the following Thursday. I don't know how that resonates with anybody. Obviously, happy to take any questions. Want to say thank you very much to Bridget for moving as fast as she did, to Hubert for moving as fast as he did, and now we turned what has been a calamity in the industry into a huge marketing opportunity. And for sure, we're going to get some new clients out of this. You know it. In fact, we already got the first one. So that first new client, Lifetime Dental out of Gainesville, Georgia, in the house. Already done, finished, wrapped. And as you guys know, these are not small tickets, right? All of our stuff is six figures. So we're in pretty good shape already with our first client and moving to my next series of phone calls. I have a whole bunch of them next week, and we'll see how many more we pick up because of the crisis. You can do the same thing, right? Almost everything I did was using AI. It was AI that helped me get the information. I put together the slide deck in my own way. That I did myself. Then Bridget took over for me. But then after that, to do the landing page copy, to do the email, to do the follow up, to do all of that was using AI. Um, and AI helped us to do what would have taken weeks in the past. Hubert, I'd like you to comment on this if you can, man. The speed at which we were able to accomplish what we did, to literally have a presentation with Tony on Tuesday, clients booked by Thursday.
Incredible.
It's mind-boggling.
It's incredible. And this is actually why I wanted to start off by explaining the top of the funnel, the middle of the funnel, and the bottom of the funnel. Because what Ridgely did in that just short time span, and he glossed over the magic that happens at the very bottom of the funnel. After they book the call and have the call with Ridgely, it's like they're either closed on the spot there or a proposal is sent and then they're closed the next day or two, right? And so you within 7 days, you move from the very top of the funnel of awareness of a major problem to agitating it and then demonstrating that we're the ones that know all about it. And then to the actual close, it's rather remarkable. And also, folks, keep in mind this. If you're not originally Goldsboro that has command of every single stage of the funnel, you have people, you have a team that you can rely on. Ridgely often uses me in the middle of the funnel part to close these people on getting them to, do this, that, or the other thing. Lately, Ridgely is bringing me on to kind of like agitate the problem and getting our clients to move their web hosting over to us so that, we have them locked in for the long term. And I get so excited and passionate about it that Ridgely has to throttle me back. But afterwards, they're all like, we can totally see how passionate the whole company is about this. And that, I don't know who that crazy bald guy was, but I want him on my team because he's really looking into this for me, right? Really, so people can bring teams with them to do all the various funnel activities. Can you speak to a little bit about what your approach is after you book the call and when you actually have the call? Like they book a half-hour call. How is it that, I mean, what are you doing at a half hour, and how is it that your closing rate is so phenomenal?
So first of all, it's very important that you really are a true subject matter expert in your space, whatever that is. And I see there are a number of people on this call who are those people, right? I mean, we have experts in many, many different things on this call. It's very important that you stay on top of all of that, right? So that you know what the deal is. When you're doing a sales presentation, to me, you want to find what are the things that are like the non-negotiables, what are the things you're going to hit first, and do the research ahead of time. So I look at all the stuff. I look at the website. I look at their online presence. How are they ranking now? So to close the guy, for example, that the first guy that we closed already, um, uh, he had some questions. So what did I do? I went online, I did the research, and I said to him, I said, the bottom line, I'm reading from this email that I sent to him. The bottom line is that what we do is to get you to dominate your market doing whatever it takes, hence the program named Dental Market Dominator. The way we do that is through our white glove VIP service where you actually communicate directly with our elite professionals who work on your account, unlike any of the big shops where you never can. You have my personal cell, and we love brainstorming together with our client partners. Here's the key piece. Right now, as I search for various dental terms in Gainesville, particularly what we call money keywords such as sedation, implants, cosmetic, I see that while you are showing up in the rankings, almost always somebody else is in the number one spot. I see Gainesville Dental Group, Brad Dixon, Lanier Dental, Patrick Toms, Weber Dental, and others ranking above you. We don't like that and won't tolerate it, particularly with the AI overviews that are going to completely take over our rankings. We have to get you better positioned. By way of example, go see, and I listed a whole bunch of people that are absolutely ahead, right, of us. And and then I got the email back this morning saying, okay, proceed right away. And so we're in business. So I did the work. I did the research to go figure all of that out. And then when I have the call, when I'm on the call, I talk to people. I want to make sure they're the right fit. So I say to them, for example, are you aware of what you need to spend for your practice? Do you know the numbers? Okay, here are the numbers. To maintain your patient flow, you need to spend 4% of revenue. To grow it, 5 to 6%. To increase it, to grow it quickly, 7 to 8%. So what is your appetite, Dr. So-and-so? What are you looking to do? Notice I've just locked them in. I locked them in to understanding they have to spend money. And I'm going to tell y'all, if somebody puts up a money opposition to me, I'm out. They're not my client. I know what we do. I know how valuable it is. I know what it's worth to a practice, but I don't want anybody nickel and diming me in any way, shape, or form. They take up your time, they take up your energy, and not interested in making that happen. So I know my information. I know, I said, what are you looking to accomplish? Well, to do that, you're going to need this, and you're going to need that, and you're going to need this. And it's with total authority that I say what I say. And then it's a simple decision. I'm in or I'm not. We have one new client that we just started with about a month and a half ago. I made a presentation just like this in February, and they weren't ready. And they said, no, we think it's a little too rich for our blood. We're not ready for that. I said, okay, well, when you are, let me know. Took 60 days. Okay, I'm in. See, right? So when you really know what you're talking about and you can use the tools at your disposal, especially AI, to do the research, figure the things out. And now I just want to share one more thing here, Hubie. Um, because this is, and you guys are looking, this, by the way, this is just fun. So this morning I got from Tony that I talked to Tuesday, hey, what are you going to talk about at my event? I need a topic and a description right now. What did I do? I went to AI. And let me read this to you guys, because this is AI. This is literally off the press an hour ago. The AI, the title of the presentation, the AI earthquake. Look, there's Tony's picture right up there, right there. You can see he's been reading my stuff. The AI earthquake, stand still and get swallowed or seize the moment to crush your competition. Google just pulled the rug out from under your dental practice. Most dentists have no clue about it. In May 2025, Google began quietly purging millions of pages from its index, targeting low-value content. At the same time, AI overviews exploded across search results, replacing your real website links with AI-generated summaries. Translation, even if you ranked last month, you might be invisible today. This isn't a glitch. It's a full-blown shift, and your practice will either adapt or get buried. Find out how Google's AI-powered search engine can steal your clicks and feed your patients to competitors, why most agencies have no idea what's really happening in the 5 silent killers that affect your website right now, the bold moves your practice can make today to leap ahead while others sleepwalk into obscurity, how the Dental Market Dominator program drives dentists to win back visibility, dominate local search, and leave the competition scrambling to catch up. To own your market while others play catch up, this is the moment. Miss this and you'll miss the wave. And that took me maybe 5 minutes, maybe, because the tool was already completely trained on this whole topic because I'd been doing a whole bunch of stuff with it, right? And so when I went to when I needed a simple upgrade to just to have a hey man, give me a description, give me a thing. AI was able to knock it out in no time. I tweaked it a couple of times, sent it over to Hubert to take a quick look at. He improved it a little bit. Boom, it's off the Tony Feck, and now it's already done. I didn't even get an answer whether it was good enough or not. But I can see his little head up there reading it, right? So you know. And and think about how ridiculous that is that we could do all of that in 6 or 7 days. It's to me, it's just mind-boggling. But now I do want to show you one more thing here. I want to make sure that everybody understands that this is very, very real. Somebody put a dental term that's a keyword in the chat for me. Any one of them, any one of the keywords. Hubert, tell me which one it is. What's somebody put in there for me?
All right. Everybody, nobody's giving a throw in the chat, folks, a dental keyword, please. Something you would search if you were going to the dentist.
Something that generates money, like implants, smile makeover, cosmetic dentistry, sedation dentistry. Give me something that's money related.
David said dental implants.
Okay, best dental implants, Sylacauga, Alabama. Now, watch what happens here. This is going to be very interesting. There's the old way. AI overview, real time. For those seeking dental implants in Sylacauga, Alabama, Southern Smiles of Sylacauga is a highly recommended option. Blah, blah, blah. Show more.
And folks, just to interrupt Ridgely, what you saw on his screen there a second ago, for most of us, this view right here that Ridgely's showing with the AI overview at the top is what you would see. Ridgely had some other things because he's got access to an ad account and so forth, so that comes first. But most people would see this page right here.
And notice that Southern Smiles is in the #1 position, plus all the panels on the right-hand side are in that position. So they're completely dominating. So let me show you. Watch this. Best sedation dentist, Sylacauga, Alabama. There's my ad summary, which nobody else sees. Look at this. This is what I was hoping was going to happen, Hubert. Sometimes if you write it old school, best sedation dentist, you're not going to get an AI overview. Now notice Southern Smile still comes up #1 in the maps, #1 in organic. That's because Hubert and his team rock. But how would it have been written for AI? It would have been like this. Who is the best sedation dentist in Sylacauga, Alabama? Let's go check that. And now we get the AI overview. Do you guys see that? That's what I'm talking about. Most people are going to say, who is the best sedation dentist? They're not going to go sedation dentist Sylacauga. That's the old way. This is the new way. And now you can see Southern Smile of Sylacauga is in the #1 spot again, and all three on the side over here, right?
Yeah.
That is complete market domination. That's what's possible for anybody that jumps in and understands how to make your content AI friendly. Super important.
Yes.
Hubert, you want to talk a little bit about the technicalities of that, please, to make sure people don't get lost?
Yeah, yes, I will. And I want to make this point. What Ridgely's saying is that over the past years, Google's been training us to try to figure out what the keyword is and then enter that keyword into Google. Okay? People don't think that way anymore because we're back to natural language. And as a case in point, Ridgely, when you had asked, drop in the chat a dental keyword. So some of the David gave us dental implants, but some of the other things, Bridget said, ouch, my tooth hurts. Linda said pain-free. So even now, people are typing in like natural language things as opposed to dental keywords, even in our chat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is super interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna follow up on that, and I'm also gonna answer David's question. David's asking, how
Hold
do we
on. Look at that.
input?
Hubert. Look at that, Hubert.
Yes,
I need a pain-free dentist in Silicaga. Who shows up? Southern
there
Smiles.
you
Number
go.
one, number
Right,
two, number three. Total
exactly.
dominance.
That's
Doesn't matter what we
yeah,
put in.
and I'll tell you how we do that. And let me read David's question to us. How do we input the AI overview? So let me kind of answer that in this way. I take your question to mean, how do we appear, or how do we get our business or website to appear in the AI overview? Okay. But if your question is more like, hey, how come the AI overviews don't always show up on my screen? That was the trend that originally was illustrating earlier. Back in January, for queries across the internet where AI overview answers were showing, it was only around 6%. And each month it grew higher and higher and higher. Now we're probably around 60+%. But it won't be very long until every single query results in an AI overview answer. Okay, so let me share my screen, and I'm going to use Ridgely's technique of asking AI, how do you appear in AI overviews? But of course, I'm always overlaying my own personal tips and tricks and everything else as well. Okay. So anticipating what Ridgely was going to have me address, I went to my chat GPT and I said, act as an expert in SEO and AI optimization. Okay. By the way, SEO is search engine optimization. There are a couple of terms now competing for the same concept in language for AI optimization. A popular one is GEO, which is generative engine optimization. That one's going to fall by the wayside, originally, in my opinion, because nobody understands what generative engine is, right? AI, everybody has heard of it, and so the new phrase for me, the one that's going to survive, is AIO, which is just AI optimization. So there's SEO and there's AIO, right? Simple. Then my query is, tell me the most important factors to use to get one's website and business mentioned in AI overview, that's the Google one, and other AI platforms. Give me the most important things and make your output actionable. Okay. That's just a little juice to, again, in the query, I still like to tell it what it should have been as an area of expertise. So act as, and then how does it give me the format? I want things that are important, and I want the advice actionable. Okay. So here's an actionable list of the most important factors and what to do about them. Okay. So here's the thing that Ridgely was getting to. This is why he was looking at the list of who's on. If you're an expert, this is easy, because if you're an expert, all you have to do is say, hi, I'm Hubert. I'm an expert in this. This is what I do, and this is how I do it. That answer, and you elaborate on your website, Ridgely, it's guaranteed not only to be valuable, but it's guaranteed to be unique. There's only one Hubert. There's only one Ridgely. If you talk about yourself and what you do, and you do it in a way that search engines, that AI, AI out of the box AI language doesn't use, which means use limbic messaging, talk about your mind types, talk about, the emotional stuff, you will survive any and all of these AI adjustments. Oh, Ridgely, speaking of that, I gotta show everybody this. Oh my gosh, the people that have been following us, um, and I originally and I had a bragging contest the other day with a client where he was showing some incredible results and I was showing some incredible results. And originally we showed this one. Okay, so folks, if you recall now what happened with the de-indexing, okay, so let me go to this was La Costa. Okay, so what happened here was we were looking at the pages that starting on May 26th, that's the date that Ridgely said, if you look at here, the number of pages that were indexed by Google search engine was 417. Then during that week, it dropped down to 356, and then it dropped down to 307 and then down to 303 at its worst. Okay. This is that major de-indexing. And it dropped from 417 down to 303 is significant. That's 100 odd pages that are lost to the world because Google won't display it. behind the scenes, we went to the client and said, listen, you got to transfer your website as is to us. We're going to eventually redesign it, but I can do certain things under the hood to fix this thing. And they did. And look what happened. We're now back up and humming. And we're actually 449 originally. We're at 449. We're ahead of where we started. So not only did we recover, but we're ahead using our techniques.
Mhm.
That's some pretty amazing results right there. Okay. So again, EEAT, EAT, is the thing. If you highlight your own experience, your own expertise, authoritativeness, and trust, that's the answer. How do you demonstrate that? Let me show with the real live example.
Yeah.
Bonaventure Dental.
Bridget's going to join us. She's got a question for us, and
Awesome.
that way I can thank her in person.
Yes. And I'm going to show you a blog post, the way we do blog posts. Okay. So here's a blog post, and it's about sedation dentistry. It's for fearful student patients, blah, 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 whatever. Look what we do at the bottom of the blog post. Okay. We take ownership and we say that this was authored by this person who owns and is the DDS there. And then we say about, and then we do all the credentials, and then we give him an I believe quote and all of that here. So this formula, this attribution formula, originally is specifically meant to address this. Look, what to do. Create author bios with credentials, experience, and photos. Use bylines. Display trust signals. So all of this stuff, if you're for real, just get on there and say, I'm for real. Bridget should be on her pages with a picture of herself and, you know, the companies that she's worked for, case studies, and all of that. Real reviews. Super, super important. Now, just speeding along so that we can talk to Bridget. Originally mentioned using structured data and schema markup. That's behind the scenes. We'll go more into that in our new version, our new season of the Mastermind, where I actually show you how to toggle these settings on your website. Okay, so stay tuned for the new season of our Mastermind. Originally mentioned this too in his presentation, an LLMS TXT file. We're going to talk to Bridget about that because she, I think, probably was the first mover from last week's discussion, and she actually went and installed it, and she's gonna debrief us on that, right? So here's a whole
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, and look, so you can have an LLMS file. It invites certain AI engines in, and then you can tell it, you can prioritize which pages you want them to look at first, and all kinds of cool stuff. Okay, and Bridget, your homework is going to be, I'll mention this when you come on, but it's going to be, there's an LLMS-full.txt version that does even cooler stuff that I'm going to tell you about in this one. Anyway, going on here, if you have a Google Business Profile, and everybody should, Andrew, who's an expert on our team, keeps telling me it's super important to make sure that's optimized because AI looks at that as well. Okay? AI overviews pull heavily from Google Business Profile data for local businesses. Okay. And then here, originally was saying this, use AI-friendly language in content, use natural language, and answer questions directly. Put lots of questions and answers on your website. Included in the people also ask style, right? If you ask a question and you look at the Google results, you'll see a panel down the page. It'll say people also ask, and it'll give you what people also ask. Take those topics and make those part of your FAQs. That's some secret sauce right there. Okay. Be conversational and speak plainly, 6th to 9th grade level. Okay. And then do all of your influencer type stuff, get on people's podcasts and so forth. But most importantly, keep your content fresh. Okay. AI Overviews wants fresh index and informational content. So what do? Update the blog posts every once in a while, even the actual posts that are published. Go in there and refresh them. Okay. And make sure that they're all indexing your pages. So we can go on and on, but those are the top few. Bridget, unmute yourself and say howdy.
Howdy. Oh my gosh.
I have a question for you first, though. Here's
Mhm.
the main question that was like burning for me. How did Ridgely do in presenting your slides?
He was awesome. He's top notch, man. I mean, I work with a lot of speakers and I mean, he has a lot of experience, but his passion is so deep, and especially for this niche, you know, for dentists, that just even him talking, he doesn't need slides. He's going to get people in just come from his voice and his passion. But definitely, I think the slides help. And if you're going to cross over into a video, it helps a lot. So
Well, good
Great
job,
job.
Ridley. Well, great job on that deck, Bridget. And during the chat, Bill was saying how you had helped him just recently as well.
Yeah, we jumped on a call, I think yesterday or last week. Yeah. So
So,
my question, can I share my screen real quick?
of course.
Yes.
By the way, for anybody that probably didn't draw the connection, of course, Bridget's going to be doing a even more bitchin' slide deck for that presentation that I have to do in September that I had to write that blurb for. So, yeah.
So this is our new site. You reviewed it, a month ago or so. We finally launched it a couple weeks ago, and I put in the LMS. And what's
Oh, good.
interesting was I went into ChatGPT and I said, "How's my LMS?" And it actually rewrote it, and it gave me why it's even better. So this is the second version
Okay,
of.
can we look at it for a second? Let's actually go and look at it.
So here it
Okay.
is.
Okay, so that first section tells the AI engines where they should look and where they shouldn't look, right? And so there are housekeeping type folders that they don't need to look at and stuff like that. And so those bots always appreciate being directed explicitly. Okay. And I love how there are sections, those are commented sections that just make it easy for human readers to kind of look at that. So there's attribution and brand identity and all of that. There's your brand voice and display preferences. That's cool. There's some gobbledygook in there that probably should be cleaned up out of the text file, but okay. Voice, maintain a tone, blah, blah, blah. Suggested pages for reference and display. Awesome.
Oh
Usage
God,
guidelines
I
for
see
AI
it here. Yeah.
systems. Yeah. Okay, cool. So excellent. So
Um,
as I was mentioning, have you heard of LLMS full.txt?
no.
Okay. Bring up your ChatGPT or something in a new tab and just ask it, what is the difference between LLMS.txt and LLMS-full.txt? And ask it, should I install LLMS-full?
Full.
Dash, yep, dash
Oh.
full, dash full.txt. And then also add, and should I have the full version? Okay, so now, since Bridget's ahead of the game, we'll see if she comes up next week with the full version of it.
Oh, I probably will.
Okay,
Short,
you're
awesome.
structured.
So
Okay.
just give an idea of how freaking bleeding edge we are.
Yeah.
I've never heard of LMS full. So I'm hearing about that for the first time on this call with all of you, everybody. So
we have to drip out the information. Okay. Full.
Educate.
No. Don't scroll anymore. Now,
Okay.
ChatGPT, Ridgely, is saying that it's particularly good for Bridget because of her expertise in visual storytelling, persuasive, branded, and her growing, blah, 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 whatever. It knows that it's particularly valuable for Bridget because it's trained on Bridget. How cool is that?
Yeah. Okay. So
basically it's the version that gives you the opportunity to give super deep information. You can put a zillion things in there. I've seen some extreme cases where the content in the LLMS-full is sometimes even more content than on the website itself. But now, given that there's some work to do in creating the full version, meaning and of course you can use AI for that, but you can put in a lot more in there. So originally, talk about cutting edge. All the few people that are using LLMS.txt, even fewer are using the full version. And the full version
can I
is.
demonstrate something else?
I'm sorry. Say.
Can I demonstrate one more thing? So my ultimate competitor is Duarte.com, DUARTE.com. And this is their LMS.
They don't have one.
They don't have one.
Yes.
No.
Well, of course, now
Yeah.
many people don't have one, and many people will say that, oh, at this point, there's no proof that search engines are consuming it or AI engines are consuming it. But doing it, you're going to be ahead of the game. It forces you to kind of think of your business. And I mean, look at the kind of like thinking you can put into the file. And once adoption starts happening, it's going to take off like a rocket. And if you haven't been thinking about this in advance, you're going to be behind.
So what does this mean? Analysis paused? Did it rewrite it again or something? Must have.
It
Oh.
probably got tired.
Network error.
Yes, it got tired. So anyway,
Okay, I'll redo it.
yeah, you have to redo it a couple of times and so forth. But anyway, and you have to check everything just to make sure. And then what you can do after you download the file, you can upload it or go to a different tool, and you can say, based on this LLMS file, give me a synopsis of what this website is about, and then see if it comes back accurately. Because
so what tool would I use for that?
Any other AI that you have, like you probably have access to Gemini or maybe DeepSeek.
Oh, I see.
Or whatever. Just go to a different AI, take the results of the first one, the output of it, and then put it in there and say, what is this, saying to the world? And then you'll see, because oftentimes, especially when it's syntactically written like this, not meant for human consumption, it's easy to miss something because there's so much side scrolling involved.
Right.
Okay, so
cool.
All right. So can I give a first impression on your new website? And
sure.
I want to see if Ridgely caught this as well. Okay. So you know how people love to scan. Okay. So my preference, Ridgely, in seeing this is because people aren't going to scan long enough to see that she's trying to create one word, one sentence. You deserve presentations that captivate, persuade, and convert. I would make that large section, you deserve presentations. I would change that to you deserve great presentations, or some adjective so that people don't have to read the rest of the sentence and it's still standing alone. So Ridgely, you want to come up with something like compelling about you deserve? And
the other way to do it, and so I had the exact same reaction, of course. The other way to do it, Bridget, is to have that captivate, persuade, and convert be bolder, and like have it all be in the same font, the same big font. So you deserve compelling presentations. You deserve epic presentations. But one word there would do it, but the other approach would be you deserve presentations that captivate, persuade, and convert, all in leading case, but big, bold, white like that. I would do two side by side and see which one you like best.
The problem with that so much text all caps is really hard to read.
That's what I'm saying. I would do it leading case.
Leading case, okay.
Yeah.
So the whole thing, and there's no subtext, it's all bold.
I would. That's the way I would do it.
Or you put it
get lost in the scanning.
Right. Or you keep it in this kind of a thing, but you put in the word like epic. You deserve epic presentations that captivate, persuade, and convert. Or an adjective that vibes with magic or something like that. So, you can be cute about it. But anyway, this style.
Let me just finish here. What we're saying for everybody that's watching is because of the scanning that happens, especially on a mobile device, you want the thought to be complete easily for the person. So you deserve epic presentations. You deserve it, whatever. Yeah. Great presentations is one single thought, or make it one whole thought. You deserve presentations that captivate, persuade, and convert. Either way, make it so that it's a full thought, so that when somebody experiences that, they're raising their hand internally saying, yep, not just yeah, but hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And also too, that's for the human perception of it. The search engine perception of it is, so I don't know how this is done behind the scenes, but if behind the scenes, you deserve presentations is wrapped in an H1 tag or an H2 tag or whatever, Google is reading that as a separate thought from that captivate, persuade, and convert. So meaning Google on a on a reader, on a screen reader or whatever, it's reading as you deserve presentations, which is a little weird.
Okay, makes sense. All right, we'll fix that.
The safest way is to do what Ridgely is saying. You deserve presentations that captivate, persuade, and convert. And
epic presentations.
That works
These
too.
are epic presentations. Captivate, persuade, and
Okay.
so folks, we were talking about the funnel, the top, the middle, and the bottom of the funnel. In that headline right there, Bridget's referring to all three levels: captivate, persuade, and convert. That's top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel. So
Hmm.
Bridget is totally vibing with us.
And then the question came up that you want FAQs on every page, right? That refer to the questions that they might have from that page. Is that correct?
Every pillar page, every service
Okay.
page, big pages,
Yes.
not sub pages.
Like this page is a pillar page.
Like slide design, yes. So you should have an FAQ about slide designs that's all around, like, actually, can you go to a new tab?
Um,
I
oh,
mean,
to a blank tab? Uh-huh.
go to a blank tab, and then just in here, enter, just go in, yeah, just enter this question. What elements make a great slide presentation? Okay, and then hit that, and then scroll down and look for people also ask. Keep going. PAA, people also ask. Just keep scrolling. Keep going. Well, I think I saw something.
Oh,
Right
here it
there.
is, right here.
Yeah, people also ask. So you need to grab these questions and make an FAQ on your slide design page, and answer, from you, like, and also you can find more than one. You can find more than these four. I don't know if those three dots you can click on it and say see more, or how it works, but anyway, there's a way to get all the people also ask. Okay, so okay, open one of them. Click what makes a great presentation slide. Okay, now scroll down. See how there are more now?
Oh, right. Okay, so there's additional. Okay.
The more you interact with it, the more it gives you. So what you're going to want to do is interact with it, come up with the ones that you feel are the most relevant to
Okay, so I
you.
keep getting
And then
more. Right.
yes, and use that as a technique. Use that as a technique to build your FAQ. Okay, and then behind the scenes on your WordPress site, you're going to install a SEO plugin, and then the SEO plugin, like the two most popular one's called Yoast SEO, and the other one's called Rank Math, and they let you create what's called schema, and then for that page, you're gonna select FAQ schema, and that's gonna put some behind the scenes code that lets Google and the search engines know that that page has an FAQ on it.
Now, is that a selection button in the software, or is it, do you type it somewhere? SEO,
No.
FAQ schema.
There's like there's a whole section of schemas, and then you check off what applies to this
Oh,
page.
what type of it? Okay.
Yeah. And there's all kinds of schemas for everything. Okay. So
Okay.
and Ridgely was talking about the power of schema. So Bridget, can you stop sharing your screen for a second? I just want to drop this on Ridgely as well. So this is brand new, Ridgely. You're hearing about it along as first time as the membership is hearing about it. Okay. So we have a team member, Andrew. He's as geeky as I, if not more, about AI and SEO and all of this stuff. Okay. So he was super stoked to learn about LLMS from me. Okay. And then he calls me. He's like, "Oh, I got one for you. I got one for you." I said, "Okay, hit me up, brother." So originally, there's this new schema. It's not adopted by everybody yet. Okay. But it's called the speakable schema.
Mhm.
And it's meant to tell things like Siri and ChatGPT voice that, hey, here's what you should do if you want to get spoken answers from my website. So there's specifically a voice-oriented schema that you can put on websites, and it's called speakable schema. So that's brand new, cutting edge.
I love that. Make sure our team knows about that. Hubert Lee, okay? Just give me to make
Yes.
sure that gets communicated.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly. Oh boy, look, we ran over.
Yeah. All right. Let's let you know next week we are gathering on Tuesday 22 at noon.
Tuesday 22.
Tuesday, 22 at noon Eastern time, and I may not be able to be there. Hubert, maybe you need to grab Bridget.
I'm sorry, say that again. I couldn't hear you.
Tuesday, 22nd at noon EST, and I may
Got it.
be running a workshop for a new doc. So just letting you
Oh,
know
okay.
that covers.
In that case, I'll run the show and maybe I'll get some of our insiders on to share as well. Okay, awesome. So Bridget, thank you for being a hot seat member. You of course get to walk away with the joke of the day. Are you ready?
I am.
All right. Bridget, what do you call a lazy kid kangaroo? What do you call a lazy kid kangaroo?
I'm just gonna go with my stock answer, an LLMS.
No, a pouch potato.
That's a good one.
And originally, what did Mama Snake give her baby snake at night while putting her to bed? What did Mama Snake give her baby snake?
I don't know.
A good night kiss.
All right, that wasn't very good. I like the first one better. Okay, you guys have a great rest of your week. Do something amazing, and I'll see you next week or the week after if Hubert's got next week.
Okay, great.
Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.